Good night, good night. So, while I'm eating my humble soup, you see, I don't even have a bowl, plate that is suitable for soup. Like, I have nothing. So I use an empty metal cookie box. This is what the American brought me. And I've studied all my life and I worked all my life. I have a tremendous education skills. This is where the American placed me. This is an American agenda. It's not a series of coincidences. This is an American agenda. This is an American agenda. Political agenda for the United States of America. Now, what we will do now is I will conduct two videos actually. I will cover mostly things that I've already said in the past, but they might be of importance right now, or at least of interest right now. And I understand that we have many new subscribers to the channel, and yes, indeed, this channel contains already 1,500 videos, and I mean, much is related to science, but everything is kind of connected to each other, and it's maybe it's difficult for some people to make sense of all the information very quickly. So, for your benefit, I will conduct two videos of summary videos, hopefully short ones that will address two questions that I think that are now, people ask themselves, especially if they are new to the issue, to the invasion issue. So first is, what are these starships and why are they here? What do they want? And second is, you say you're repeatedly saying that Israel is already dead, and you were born. You say that you were born in the territory of the United States of America, and you blame America for everything that happens to you, presumably, or to other people. We don't know. So this is we don't understand. Is that a metaphor? Because Israel, they have the flag, they have the national anthem, they to some success appear in the Olympics, some small, but some, and what's is that a metaphor? And what is to be expected? When you say that they are going to destroy the United States, what do you mean? What's behind this description? So the first question will be the topic of this video, and the second will be the topic of the next video. These starships belong to a species that I call the cherubs. They are my own species. They are ancient. They are not originated here, and they have a tremendous technology, and they follow humans for a long time. They believe in God, and they see themselves as servants of God, and they live in close relationship to another species, which is also very ancient, which I call the Neros, Neros. And this relationship is explored to a large extent or at least to some extent in this channel. They are very small robots. They come in the Neros. They come in tremendous amount of sizes, a very huge variety. Microscopic, nanoscopic, and even probably smaller than nanoscopic, and also bigger than microscopic. So they have tremendous a variety of sizes. And but this is covered a lot in this channel, and it's not of supreme political significance right now. I don't know what this starship made of. Much of my art is in the last 2 years is surrounding these spaceships and the way that they attack the Earth. All of these are paint and acrylic. Oil and acrylic painting that, of course, were painted. Most of it, more than a year ago, and up to 2 years ago. But I mean, physically, I don't know. Like, I mean, I can't tell you like what kind of drive they have. I know that they are huge. I don't know how huge they are. I know that they are very, very big, and by now I think, I mean, humans must have like, I mean, very good like notion of how they look and how big they are, because surprisingly, I mean, so what what I've seen with my own eyes yesterday night, I mean, yesterday night, is that, I mean, I've seen 3 of these, like, I mean, just on top of me, like, I mean, so it's like, I mean, yes, like all the Shabakniks around me, I mean, that they kind of like, I mean, they pretend that it's not there, but I mean, yes, it's there. It is, and I mean, just look above. It's there. 3 starships, and I guess more are coming, and more are already all over the world. And actually, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know how big they are, but most certainly this information is in the hands of many humans now, because they got very close to Earth, much closer than I assumed actually. And you can see that they are huge, and they are very close to Earth, just by your own eyes. Like, I mean, nothing more than eyes. But I always knew that they are huge, and that they have tremendous, like, that they have faster than light technology of movement, and they have tremendous energy resources, and that like, I mean, you can't do anything. I mean, stop, just stop being you, okay? Just stop being you. Just stop being you. That's what you... The only thing that you can do and need to do is to stop being you, because any other thing, I mean, is just ridiculous. And it's not trivial, because, I mean, what I see around me, like in Israel, is that everybody continues to be them. But what, I mean, sentient creatures should have been doing right now is to stop being them, because being them is what caused this ship to arrive. Anyway, I don't know how big they are, but this most certainly it's something that, I mean, is in the hands of the various governments. It shouldn't be that difficult, even like for a layman to actually, maybe, I mean, you know, calculate it. But I mean, I have no resources. Like, I'm under house arrest, so. But I guess you can, I mean, yourself, I mean, get a very good, like, you know, physical approximation of what exactly you're dealing with. Certainly, they are huge. And certainly they are now close to Earth, much closer than I assume they will actually be. Now, were they always here? And just, I mean, were hidden from you? Or did they just arrive? So the answer is both. Like one is here for like something like 100 years. But mostly they arrived now. They arrived now. But one is always, like, I mean, not always, in the last 100 years, and before that they were also here. Like, I mean, from time to time, I don't know when exactly and what kind, and to what number. My assumption is that what's going on right now is not something that happened a lot in the history of Earth. Like, it's a big fleet. It's a very big fleet, and my assumption is that, I mean, that initially I knew that's going to be a big one, and I thought that it's big in order to kind of like make a point to humans, so they will understand that, I mean, of the severity of the situation, because one is enough to destroy all humans without a problem at all. So the theater show, I mean, the star show, the planetarium show that you see, my assumption is that it was that to make a point for humans, and also to give them like last chance to change their ways, and they didn't, of course. I mean, they just continue with the same sick games. But I mean, lately I understood. I had lots of clues to understand that it's more complicated than that. But this fleet, they have like more objectives, additional objectives, like not only to stop the human virus, but also other things. That's so they're on the way to do more things, like additional stuff like, yeah, I mean, I know it's the ego of humans was always the worst problems, but I mean, you need to understand your two places in the cosmos. I mean, you know, the destruction of all humans will most probably be something that is done like as secondary objectives like side quests, I mean, like minor side quests for an alien fleet in their way to do something much more important. This is reality. I mean, you need to understand what you are. And this should have been done a long ago, like the understanding of humans, like what are they and what is their place in the cosmos. This should have happened a long time ago, and it never happened. I mean, you kept your delusional grandiosity, like illusions. I mean, and it's still like always. Like I mean, it doesn't matter if it's now, like 50 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago. It's always like all sort of people that think that they are like the ruler of the universe or the rulers of the galaxy or the ruler of I don't know what. No, it's just I mean the annihilation of all of you is probably just just a stop, like just a side stop, like side quest, minor like I mean issue that I mean the fleet is doing in the way to other stuff much more important. Just so you know, like how important you are, and what will be the magnitude of the event of the end of humanity with regards to the rest of the universe. Like I mean, how much like I mean magnitude will it, how much impact will it make like on other species, which means none at all, nothing. That doesn't matter to them at all. It will have no significance. This is reality. This is reality. I mean, this is reality. And the fact that you don't understand this reality has much to do with I mean, your grim situation right now. Also, it should be said regarding the physical aspect of this starships. From what I was able to see just by the naked eye, just by watching it, like just like that. I mean, obviously they have lights, like I mean, in a pattern that is somewhat similar to Ferris wheel, and these lights can change, and they've changed a little bit. Like they changed, like, I mean, and it can only be seen during the night, not during the day. I mean, when the sun rose, I mean, they gradually, I mean, I mean, it wasn't able to see it, and I mean, I cannot be 100% certain, but I mean, from what I observed and according to my interpretation, these are like functional lights, like I mean, like parking lights. I mean, lights that are there in order for you to be able to see it. Like it's not lights that are emitted, I mean, as a byproduct of some kind of like other process. So most certainly, whatever they do to you, any kind of attack or any kind of like way that they affect the Earth, is not done like with the like I mean with the emissions of light. And most certainly, they don't need to be that close in order to do it. This reinforced my kind of, I mean, my theater, I mean, interpretation of some, I mean, partial interpretation of the events as kind of like a theater, or I mean, a way to convey message. I mean, both the fact that they reach very close to Earth, they don't need to be that close in order to affect you, and that they use the lights just so that you or I don't know, we will be able to actually watch it. But I mean, it's like that there. I mean, I think, I mean, you can differ. I mean, you can have different opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, from my interpretation of everything that I've seen is that I mean, these lights are there just so we'll be able to see it. Like I mean, like car lights, like truck lights, basically that's there so you can see the car. Not like not like the light is emitted by explosion or radiation or whatever. Or other kind of processes, physical processes. So what can they do, and why do they do that? The why is discussed a lot in this channel. In short, because you subjugate another species, the species of I call the Titans, and that are originated in the planet Venus, and you do it for a long time, but most certainly since the beginning of the Zionist project, which means 120 years ago. And it was always part of the culture in Israel, and it was always disgusting and terrible and cruel and cruel. And they never changed, and this cruelty continues. And I suffer this cruelty to unbelievable extent. I'm tortured all my life, and up to this point. Just to say, I'm now under arrest by court order in a room. I cannot leave the room for a crime I did not commit that allegedly happened like a year ago and had no significance at all, and I'm a person without any criminal record. And this place is set up by the government that placed me here. So when I close the door, an unbearable subliminal sound starts. So I cannot even close the door. I mean, if I do it, it starts. And yesterday I kind of like, I mean, I showed you how exactly it happens. This is my reality. It was like that all the time. I mean, I'm always subjected to this torture. What, I mean, material gain do they make of it? This is a long story. In short, they want the robots, the little robots. Because it helps them to produce energy, it helps them to produce, to change their physical traits, and for medical purposes. The neurons that are in my body. And they like to extract it from me like farm animals, so they subject me to unbelievable terror. But it's not done with that. They also abuse me in other ways, and they also abuse my daughters that are now 7 and 8 years old. And I've shown you photographs. They infect them with diseases. They cause them tremendous pain, and they do it for several years now. And in the last year, I cannot even protect them from that because I raised them in joint custody with their mother. But they took. I mean, the government. I mean, the state took them from me about a year ago, and I cannot even see them since then. So they will be able to even further, further torture them and infect them with diseases. And I will not be able to protect them. That's why I cannot see them for almost a year now, without any justification at all. Without any justification at all. Just as it means that I will not be able to protect them, so they will be able to infect them even more with diseases, and subjugate them and torture them and abuse them in unbelievable ways. Unbelievable ways. They are 7 and 8 years old, and it's going on for several years now. But when I was with them, I could have protected them to some extent from that. But now I cannot protect them at all, and this was exactly the purpose of the social workers that have done this to me. So they will be able to extract all kind of resources from these young children. Social workers of the state, of course. This is done under direct orders of the United States, and I will explain how and why in the next video. But it should be stated right here, all of these things are not new in Israel. They were done since 100 years ago. But starting in the 1980s, they are done under the command of the American President, the American Congress, the American Senate, etc., and of course, the American military. That's why there will be no United States very, very soon. I assure you, there will be no United States. Nothing. Nothing at all. They did not come here to play games. This fleet will annihilate the United States at the minimum. The maximum is the entire of humanity. It will be something in between, but no less than the United States are going to just be annihilated, which means nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. They are not playing games, and they are not here to discuss all sorts of issues with you. They will not speak with you, discuss with you, hold diplomatic sessions with you. No. All of it was already been done by me to no success, but whatever. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I failed to converse with you. You only treated me as farm animals. So now, diplomacy, has been exhausted, and now they start the second phase, which means annihilation. You cannot speak. Nobody will hear you. Nobody listens to you. Nobody cares at all what you have to say. Nobody. The only alien in this universe that cares to some extent about you, and that your annihilation will mean something to him, is myself, and I've lost all empathy. I had tremendous amount, but all of it is lost. Every other alien, sentient alien in the universe, does not care at all about your annihilation. It's just not an issue. It's not an event. It's a secondary, a minor side quest for a fleet not the only fleet, for a fleet of a strong species, not necessarily the strongest, certainly not the only strong one, in the wait for a much better, more important mission, who knows where. That is your distraction. Annihilation of humanity, that is what it is. A minor side quest for some kind of a fleet of some kind of a species in their way for more important objectives. This is it. This is it. Now, what exactly can they do and what do they do? They, first of all, should be said, the Starship that is here for 100 years, it was always attacking the Earth. I mean, in cycles. And the Israelis knew about it. It was a well-known issue in Israel since during the last 100 years. Now, how do they know about it? Because it mostly impacts the Neros themselves, like the robots. So the people that ate the robots, and the more they ate it, the more crimes they committed. There is clear correlation between the number of robots you have in your body, if you are Homo sapiens, then to how criminal you are. It's like a very short way to know, how much a person is guilty, is to know how much he ate this stuff, the forbidden foods. Because it's all predicated on cannibalism and torture to unbelievable extent, torture of children and abuse of children. Things that were common in Israel since 100 years ago and still continue, as you see, with my daughters. Just as always. Abuse of young children and unbelievable abuse and of course also other crimes, including of course, one of the historical things that the Israelis are so, that it's their main expertise, which is of course sexual abuse and rape of children, which of course was done tremendously throughout the last 100 years. If you think that they skip this kind of delicacy, so yeah, no. So the main effect of these starships. So regarding the question of what can they do, they can do everything you think of, including throwing asteroids at you, and they are doing it. Including killing every person that they want on Earth without a problem. But the most typical things that they do, and they always do it, is to energize the Neros, which means to give energy to the robots inside the bodies of humans. Now, energizing the Neros is something. It's not a metaphysical or religious concept. It's a scientific concept that I discuss a lot in this channel. And I show you how I do it in all sorts of ways, like in tangible ways that are showing tangible, replicable results. It's a scientific process. Like energizing the Neros is not because I say it because sometimes people use the word to energize, in all sorts of ways that are metaphorical, like energize. I don't know, like a science fiction or religion context or no. And to energize the Neros is a scientific issue, a scientific process of giving the Neros they can use all sorts of energies, because energy comes in several forms, and so they can use several forms of energy to produce work, which means and I've shown you how to. It's a major topic in this blog. So the starships can also do it, but of course in ways that I cannot even imagine. But they can do it. And what happened is that now it should be said that these robots, they are imitating each other in a high functional way, not like in the movement to movement imitation, but in a functional way. And that's always happening. That's why the person that has that the Neros are originated in their body, and now it's all. Now the originator, the single originator right now is me. It wasn't always like that. It was only one person that was the originator of all the Neros. This is that was not true throughout the 20th century and the 21st century. But this is the current situation. I discuss it a lot in the channel. You can just watch the videos. Just to say this is like a special kind of pervertism of our generation. That everything is originated within me. Am I a billionaire? No, I'm penniless. I live in a hostel for homeless people, and I eat soup from from like a cookie, from metal cookie, like box, because I have not even have like any bowl like to eat from, because I mean that's the American agenda. But yes, all the neurons in the bodies of every person in Earth, currently they are all originated indirectly or directly in me. And again, it wasn't always like that. I mean, there was like one single originator. It's something to do with all sorts of things that happened, I mean, during the 20th and 21st century. Should be said that there were always events. I mean, there were all things already happening. It's like the secret history of the 20th century and the 21st century. Like, I mean, another layer of history that is always on the background and affects, like, I mean, governments, sometimes to a lesser extent, sometimes to a bigger extent, but always things always happened. Like, so it's not something that, I mean, is entirely new to anybody. So the most of the imitation is done by the commands of the original, like the creator, which is me. That's why, for example, when the Israelis are torturing me with the subliminal sounds, the people that ate the news all around the world also feel it. Like you felt it yesterday, we will have done the door experiment. Because, and I don't think to do anything in order for that to happen. This is done to me by the Israelis. By the way, they know it very well. It's part of the culture for more than 100 years. Why are they doing it to me if they know that you suffer from it? Because you pay them a lot of money to do it. I mean, you pay them for so long. I mean, so much money to get the robots. I mean, why should they do? I mean, you probably enjoy like torture. I mean, otherwise, why do you keep paying them? From their perspective, it's very simple. I mean, if the Goyim are paying them so much money in order for them to be tortured, they should only torture them more. Why are you paying them so much money to torture you? Because you hate God. All of you. All of you. All of you hate God. And you know very well that the issue here is God against Israel, and you consistently choose Israel. And you've done it throughout the 20th century and the 21st century. All of you. Of course. More than everybody else in the United States of America, and that's why they're dead. They're dead. But it's true to everybody. All of you understood very quickly that the issue at hand is the fight of Israel against God. You understood it all very, very quickly, and you choose Israel. That's why you pay them so much money to torture you, because you choose Israel. This is a fact. It's going on for a long, long time, more than 100 years. Now, when the neurons are energized, they work more efficiently. And it's almost always works against the person that have these neurons in their body, because the effects are almost always. If it's random, it's almost always something bad, like create new worms in the body, or create all stuff like life forms in the body, or electrocute like the red blood cells. Or I mean, if it's random, it's most certainly going to be something bad. And even if it's not random, it's also it's going to be something bad. Like I mean, the best kind of like thing that can, I mean, that humans should not eat these robots at all. These neurons. This is a crime against humanity, against nature, against God. But I mean, just from objective perspective, like with disregards to morality, the best kind of like results that you can get if you have these things in your body is probably if they don't get any command, like I mean, from other robots, and they just do whatever they think they needed, like from according to where they are. I mean, each kind of like intervention from bicycle intervention from the other robots most certainly will produce either bad or terrible or most likely terminal results. I mean, maybe not, but I mean, because the default behavior is beneficial. That's why you like to eat it so much. I mean, that's why people like to eat it, because their default behavior is beneficial. So any kind of intervention from the other robots is most likely anti-beneficial and probably terminal. And if they are energized, they can use these terminal results in a much efficient way. That's why de facto what happened is that when these starships appear, the people with the neurons in their body are dead. And this is proportional to how many they have. The more they have, the more dead they are. Or the more hurt they are. They're physically hurt. This is the main function of these starships. But it should be said they can do many other things. They are not limited. Like they are not natural phenomenon. It's not like natural things that you need them. They are these are mechanical objects that are operated by sentient creatures. I mean, more like Star Trek, or Star Wars, whatever. I mean, big ships with creatures that are manipulating them, and and these creatures, they have brains, so they can decide to do whatever they want. I mean, they're not limited by natural laws or something like that. So they can do pretty much everything that they want. But in general, that's what they have historically done, and that's their main function: to energize the neurons that are in the bodies of the Homo sapienses, which almost always means something bad, very bad, or very, very bad for them. Now, in the next video, I should discuss very shortly this, because I've spoken about it a lot. But for people that are new and they want a executive summary, I will say what do I mean when I say that Israel does not exist, and what awaits the United States.